Thank you for watching RooTV.
Welcome back to this week's episode of RooTV. I'm Marissa Leggio.
And I'm Grace Kertz. Two executive council members of UMKC's Student Government Association, SGA, resigned at the first general body council meeting of the spring semester. Stay tuned to hear more about why the two students stepped down.
Have you ever wished the school week only lasted 4 days? Well, that dream for independent schools is now their reality. It sure does sound nice, but the independent school district is transitioning to a 4-day school week as schools across the country experience unfortunate teacher shortages. On December 13th, the Independent School District Board voted 6-1 to shorten the school week to 4 days. Beginning in the 2023 through 2024 school year, students in grades pre-K to 12 will attend classes from Tuesday to Friday, and the transition will extend each school day by 35 minutes. Alicia Wallace, an instructor in UMKC's Education Department, has concerns regarding how the change will affect students. Wallace states, "I want all children to have the proper education, but I am truly worried about our children who come from low-income households, minorities, or our special needs children not getting what they need."
That body type isn't feminine or attractive. This is just one of the comments student weightlifter McKenna Martinez heard at UMKC's Recreation Center. This drove her to become president of Girl Gains, an organization striving to create an inclusive environment for women on campus. The UMKC chapter started in fall 2022 and has grown to over 230 members. Girl Gains aims to bring together women who spend time in the gym and to implement a safe, judgment-free zone. The group hosts meetings with a range of topics, such as conquering gym anxiety, nutrition, body image, and health, including mental health. The girls share workouts and give advice, and are even planning to add a locker room to UMKC's Rec Center for members and women. Check out UMKC Girl Gains on Instagram and Roo Groups to learn more.
Dr. John D'Amelio visited UMKC students on February 16th in the Student Union to discuss his book, Memories of a Gay Catholic Boyhood, Coming of Age in the 60s. On July 11th, 2022, Dr. John D'Amelio released his book, which shares his experiences growing up during political movements that shaped his life. D'Amelio states that his book didn't begin as a novel, but a storyline of important pieces of his past. D'Amelio states, "I had triple bypass open heart surgery. In my free time, I just began writing up random memories that spoke to me in important ways." D'Amelio is a retired professor of history, gender, and women's studies from the University of Illinois, Chicago. According to Roo Group's records, 27 guests registered for the event, including faculty, students, and outside attendees.
RooNews sat down with U.S. Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg in an exclusive interview with Editor-in-Chief Bre Blankenship. Here's a look.
Why do you think UMKC in Kansas City was a good choice for the grant with 240 applicants, I believe you said?
Yeah, it was a very competitive process, so we weren't able to fund every idea or every university, even some really good ones. But what we saw here was a lot of teamwork, collaboration with partner institutions, and a focus on making sure the technologies that develop aren't just developed for their own sake, but in order to bring real benefits like safety and sustainability. And those are the kinds of things we want to make sure the department is funding for the long run.
Kansas City is home to the second largest rail hub in the United States. What does the Department of Transportation learn about minimizing environmental impact if a derailment were to happen because of poor railway conditions?
Well, what happened in East Palestine is, I think, a call for the entire country to be more rigorous when it comes to railroad safety and hazardous material safety in particular. We've been working on a number of measures, including making sure there are higher standards for crew size and staffing on board trains, and a higher rate of safety audits to see if everything is being inspected and maintained the way it should be. But I think there are more things that we're already learning from this case that need to be applied. We're looking at everything from the way that trains are classified as hazardous to the kinds of equipment alongside the rail that can detect whether there's a condition in the wheels or in the car that might lead to a failure. And we need to make sure there's a very high standard in terms of the inspection of the rail itself. While there's no indication that the condition of the rail itself is a factor in the Ohio derailment, we do know that that's something that needs to be subject to the highest possible standards. You know, we've known for a while that our airports in this country need work. And so to see a world-class terminal facility like that has everything from an excellent design that I think is going to help people get to where they need to be, to just a great look and feel, including the work of local artists incorporated into the design. That's what it looks like for the U.S. to have world-class airports. And it's one of the reasons why we work so hard to get airport funding in this bill. There's going to be more to support airports as we go. You know, this is a vision, it's been coming together for years. And I'm just so energized to see community leaders who've been trying to make this happen for so long finally able to celebrate.
And what part of the new airport do you wish to see that other airports will start to mimic as they come into fruition?
Well, one thing is it's been designed in a way that's more accessible than a lot of our older airports. I think that's very important. And the way that it interacts with the local community, and everything from the design features and the art to the small businesses that are participating in the concession side, I think is a model to follow, because every airport is the front door to its community. And it should really reflect the community in a way that passengers can feel, and in a way that the economy reflects.
As somebody as part of the LGBTQ plus community, what would you say to young adults in Missouri who see their state legislation pushing for bills that go against who they are?
Well, the biggest thing I want people to hear is you're not alone, and there are a lot of people rooting for you. It is, you know, it's already hard to be young and know that you're different and just get through life. Your state shouldn't be making it harder. And yet there's some politicians who think that it benefits them to, frankly, make life harder for some of the most vulnerable people in communities in this country. But again, folks aren't alone when they're facing this. And they need to know that I have their back, that a lot of people in their community have their back, that their president has their back, and that their strength doesn't go unnoticed.
And what has been your favorite thing seeing at UMKC today, the thing that inspires you most?
You know, there's a lot of really sophisticated technology here that's very impressive. I have to say the thing that speaks to my heart most is the materials, because it's one of these things no one thinks about, or at least most people don't think about, that can make the biggest difference in sustainability, in affordability, and in safety. So it's great to see that. It's great to see all of the technology that's being put to use here to make people better off.
Did you have any barbecue while you were here?
I had some pretty good sides. I had great barbecue last time I was here. I gave up meat for Lent, but that's not stopping me from enjoying some of the potatoes and beans.
Yeah. Where'd you go?
I have to check with the team on where they sourced it from. They can tell you.
I think that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for taking your
Oh,
time.
same
I
here.
really, really
Now it's time for sports with Jackson Ogden.
Welcome back into the Den. I'm Jackson Ogden. Kansas City basketball wrapped up its regular season this past week, and both the men's and women's teams are set to head to Sioux Falls this weekend for the Summit League tournament. Starting on the women's side, they sit as the 10th and last seed in the tournament after posting a 7-22 record. They'll take on Denver on Friday at 3 p.m. If they're able to pull that battle out, they'll face off against North Dakota on Saturday. But barring a deep run in the tournament, this will mark the first season the Roos failed to hit double-digit wins since the 2014-15 season. The men's team will head into the tournament as a 7 seed after losing their last 5 games of the regular season. They'll take on Omaha Friday at 8:30 p.m., and if they can beat the Mavericks for the 3rd time this season, they'll play North Dakota State on Saturday. On to local professional news, the Chiefs have promoted Matt Nagy to be the team's offensive coordinator going forward. Nagy was the Chiefs' OC back in 2017, which was Mahomes' rookie season. The Royals are underway in spring training and gotten off to a hot 3-0 start, which has led to some people around here losing their minds. So let me set the record straight. The Royals will not be good this year. Get that imaginary fantasy out of your head, throw it away because it won't happen. Do we have some exciting young pieces? Yes. More than most teams even. But do we have a capable pitching staff? Not even close. But the main reason the Royals won't be good this season, however, is not because of that, but it's because they have a cheap owner whose main priority is getting a new stadium and not winning. For context, the Royals' current payroll is $85 million, which sounds nice until you consider the team's payroll 8 years ago was $127 million. Now name me one thing, whether it be eggs, gas, clothes, whatever the item that has gotten cheaper in the last 8 years. And I don't want to hear the small market crap. Kansas City is home to over 215,000 more people than St. Louis, and yet somehow they can afford an $152 million payroll. I mean, nobody else in Kansas City sports media seems to have the guts to come out and say the obvious, so with my platform I'm given, I'm going to speak for the thousands of disgruntled fans like myself. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Let's go ahead and toss it over to Joshua Cunningham.
Welcome back to Lifestyle and Culture. I'm your host, Joshua Cunningham, and today I want to talk about an artist that is new to me, and her name is Orion Sun. She's really great, and she's really great for 3 reasons. It's her voice, her vibe, and just the way she flows over songs. But I really want to talk about her because she's been a staple in my playlist as of late. And like I said, her vibe is one of the main reasons. Now, I love listening to like the lyrics and everything. That's why J. Cole's one of my favorites. But sometimes, you can't just listen to lyrics all the time. You want to just get the vibe of a song. You just want to have the feeling of a song. And she's so great at creating an atmosphere and a feeling and a vibe. I mean, when I think about her, I either just want to lay on a beach or I just want to go drive around at night and look at the city lights. She's so good. And her voice is one reason that her vibe is so good, is because it's so soft, it's so sweet. You feel warm inside. You feel like you're in a movie and this is like the song playing behind you while you're driving with all your friends. It's just so nice. And then the way she flows over the beat and everything is just perfect. It always sounds really great. And my 3 favorite songs by her have been Without You is my favorite one. I've listened to it on repeat for multiple days in a row. Then there's Valentine. I really like Valentine by her. It's a great song. And then also Dirty Dancing. If you want to listen to more by her, you can listen to her newest EP, Getaway. But that's all I have time for today. Come back next week to hear me talk about more music and lifestyle and culture on RooTV.
Welcome back to Book Review. I'm Afnan Hussain. Today's episode is highlighting the novel Portrait of an Unknown Woman. Think James Bond, 007, Secret Espionage. Portrait of an Unknown Woman is the 22nd novel in the Gabriel Allon series by Daniel Silva. The plot centers around the connection between art forgery and high finance. Gabriel Allon's friend recently sold an art piece for several $1 million. When he receives a handwritten letter indicating the portrait may be a forgery, when the letter writer is killed in an accident, and when sometimes tries to run him down too, he contacts Gabriel to look into things. Gabriel embarks on a dangerous hunt across Europe for the secret behind the forgery of this 17th century masterpiece that has fooled experts and exchanged hands for millions of dollars. The book is a fast-paced espionage thriller with its plots, although fictionalized, seeming to explode from the world's headlines with its timelessness. It's not just the plot that is superior, but it shines in lively characters that can be easily imagined. I would rate this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And now it's time for an excerpt. The Louvre? Yes, of course. Where did you think I was taking you? Somewhere a bit more dangerous. If it's danger you want, said Menard, we've definitely come to the right place. If you like this book review, check out my Instagram at afhussein_for more. Thanks for listening.
Hi everyone, I'm Katya and I'm back with more movie and TV show recommendations. Beware, there might be spoilers. I recently finished watching The Watcher, which includes 7 episodes about an hour long. I actually had to take my time with this one because I'm a scaredy cat when it comes to thrillers and scary films. The show revolves around a family that moved into a new house and begin to receive suspicious letters from a person who calls themselves The Watcher. The family eventually becomes paranoid and goes through a number of hoops to figure out who the Watcher is. What makes this show even more spooky is that it's inspired by true events. Next, we have the movie Whiplash. This movie has a very slow start, but it is so worth watching. It follows Andrew, a passionate drummer who wants to be the best at his university's conservatory. He is pushed to the brim by his professor Terrence Fletcher, who is known to have a very unique approach to teaching. Some would even say harmful. Slowly we see them challenge each other and grow their student-teacher relationship. Now, for those that don't know, I am a big Avengers fan, so how could I not mention the new Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania movie? I would not rank this movie as the top
of my MCU list, but it sure isn't the last. I mean, come on, who doesn't like Paul Rudd? Here we learn more about the quantum realm, which we all thought was a place outside time and space, but that's actually not the case. We also dive deeper into the multiverse, which opens it up for the upcoming MCU films. That's all from me. Thanks for watching. Until next time.
2 executive council members of UMKC's Student Government Association resigned at the first general body council meeting of the spring semester. Former Chief of Staff, Kayla Fott, stated in her departure letter that, "I joined SGA to see the route of student involvement, to understand the heartbeat of campus collaboration, and, frankly, to have fun. Instead, what I have found are layers of animosity." Student Body Vice President Harris Remen also stepped down from his position, detailing similar reasons. Since the secessions, neither position has been filled. On February 20th, SGA voted no to President Tim Wynn's selection for Vice President, Samuel Kim. President Wynn did not consult with other executive members for his decision, and SGA members saw the nominee as unprepared. SGA will have their next meeting on Monday, March 6th.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of RooTV. Be sure to hop on the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at RooNews UMKC.
Tune in next week. RooNews sat down with U.S. Secretary of... My God.
I'm afraid to say.